Yeah.
Water.
Hi, and welcome once again to What's the Damage, companion show to the incredibly well-known and popular real play D&D show Roll for Damage. Yesterday was Indigenous Peoples Day and also Thanksgiving for our friends up north. And here's hoping everyone had a safe holiday and had something to be thankful for. I, of course, am most thankful to have my Friday and Tuesday nights planned every week, a gift which we at the Roll for Damage Network happily pass to you. You're welcome. Our heroes, the Shields of Twilight, delved into their first dungeon crawl. Fun stuff. They fought a bunch of weird creatures, including some nasty acid jelly and a crazy, scary demon that came out of an interdimensional rift. It was a big old boss fight, and everyone survived. But the chain, I believe, we'll see what that means. The party ended the session victorious, but not sure what was going to come next. And we'll be talking about all of that right now. As always, stick around after the stream for links and resources. Oh, I'm going to show you guys my t-shirt that just came in. Yay! Look, these are my boobs. This is the t-shirt. You should buy these on our store. I'm your host, Truth Venson. This is What's the Damage. Hi, welcome back. We were just talking about people masturbating to death. That's what you missed while the credits were rolling. Anyway, I am joined today.
Oh, man.
I want to give the audience a glimpse behind the curtain. You know, they're very curious about our personal lives.
Sex addiction and masturbation, apparently.
Well, that's going to be on our new stream called late Twilight Midnight. Yeah.
So many problems.
Twilight and Shields after dark.
Anyway, I am joined today by Serenity, our wonderful DM, by Jay, player of Campion, who's very sick but doing his best. Is not COVID. I'm sure that's not COVID. And Laura, who plays
We're not sure anymore. No.
I believe him. I believe it's not COVID. I believe he'll be better.
It's fine. This is a socially distanced stream.
That's true.
Yeah, we've been socially distanced from the start. We were ahead of our time. They all said we were crazy, but we've been proven right. Anyway. Welcome, guys. Thank you for being on the stream. So we had our first major dungeon crawl. What is the damage?
I, for one, am very proud of the Shields of Twilight because we did not die and we worked as a team.
Campion was clutch.
Beans. Campion was pretty clutch, even though Jay sadly was not there.
Well, that's why Campion
was there
clutch.
in spirit, you know. I was there in spirit.
I'd like to think I played Campion the way Jay would have done.
Yeah, no, you definitely did. Definitely did.
I mean, I was rolling really terrible, Jay. I'll let you know. But you did a lot of healing, and a Greybone tried to eat things successfully once. He did once,
He did
But the rest of the time, he just
one time.
He was gumming. He was gumming
Yeah,
it.
man.
It was not great.
But
it was a rough
Greybone
fight.
survived.
When they counted,
Greybone survived, I think.
Yeah, okay.
And
Cool.
Yeah, no, he did not get destroyed this time. This is
This
like
time,
the first.
he got destroyed a couple of times, but you used your like action to like bring him
thing.
back, and
yeah,
and he was good to go. And
Cool.
you survived.
But he wasn't. You don't have to take a long rest to actually repair him for a change.
Repair him,
So
yeah.
Progress for. I mean, she also nailed the signature weird little whisper thing that he does.
Very good.
Like, had to get all up in the Mike's business. So we could hear it.
It's like I don't really know, guys.
Oh, that's so unpleasant, Jay. I hate it.
Jay!
What's happening again? What?
So unpleasant.
What's this rift? Demons?
Oh my God.
What?
Guys, this is so fucked up.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be a great stream tonight, guys. I can tell already.
But yeah.
Not going to stay on top of today. No, sir. Also, it's going to be very interesting because Jay did miss the last game, so he probably doesn't 100% know what happened. But we need to have him on because
even when he's there, he barely knows what's happened.
Yo, man,
That is
I'm
rude
out.
and uncalled for.
I'm out everywhere, man.
And it's kind of worse now that Campion is just like a dip.
Yeah, no, he's just like thinking about things. He's like, what?
He's very excited about arcane and technology.
Yeah,
Let
even
him
though he has
have
no
his-
idea
let
how
him have his
it
shit.
works, man. Just it's duct tape and glue, dude. That's just what he does, man. He has no idea.
And science.
And science.
Yeah, so we are very excited to finally hear about Campion from the horse's mouth as Jay is finally here. So you were not here last game, but we can't leave the Campion questions too long. Otherwise he'll get stale. So
No one will care about Campion anymore.
care.
He won't be new anymore.
he'll be old news. Okay, you get like two shows, 2 episodes to
2
each
episodes,
your
and then
character.
it's like, get the fuck out of here.
It's like whatever, new stuff. We need fresh meat
Whew.
for the
From
grinder.
Sonic.
Anyway, so Campion's gotten himself into some kind of intense stuff.
Man,
Kind of what's going on in his little nerdy head.
Demons, cults, weird ladies that beat the shit out of him. It's a whole thing, man. It's adventure, and people would say Campion looks for trouble, but you know what? Might as well get ahead of trouble and start looking for it, because it's just gonna find him anyway. We might as well get ready for it. And yeah, most of the time it just blows up in his face. But in a way where it's lovable, and he's figuring something out, man, with that weird big dude brain of his.
Love the dude brain.
Dude brain.
He really is like a science Chad. He's like a science bro.
He's a
It's
science
like,
bro, dude.
He's not super smart.
He's like,
Really?
science. Oh yeah. Oh. That should have been his voice. That should have been his voice.
Oh my God. I remember, was this during one of the episodes when you guys were discussing how the only reason any of Campion's experiments work is because he's very magical, actually? Is that during one of the episodes?
That's probably the only
I love
thing.
that. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I think that was 2 episodes ago, and it's very accurate.
Yeah, dude. It's just like
he had
thinks-
tried to science something, and both like Jake
Probability.
and I were like looking at. Oh yeah, that was right.
Yeah.
And like Jake
Yeah.
and I
Probability.
Yeah, it was
Jake, who's the
probability,
actual
and
science
he was
teacher, and
butchering
me,
it.
who's like a
and he
science
was-
master's
He was
degree.
just
and we
typing.
were
He was like, "This is not how this works, Jay. Why are you butchering? God!"
It was very fitting for our actual science
Yeah, it was
people.
hilarious.
They were a
I'm
little
not
triggered.
a scientist. I'm not a scientist, guys. I have a
you
hard
made
time
that
with numbers.
very apparent.
Yeah, I'm not.
I mean, even the behavior scientist was like, "What are you doing?"
I loved it though. I love it.
Very fun. So with Campion, why? Obviously, we know the out of character reason why you're here, but why in character are we justifying him like following the party into this weird shit? Is it just really interesting to him, or is there some
Yeah,
kind of
I mean,
motivation?
it's like, hey, he was in a fucking desert for some days, almost died. It seems like these people are good people, and he owes him a debt because he would have probably died without him. And his dad's a dwarf, and dwarfs are about honor. And he's like, he's like, yo, you owe somebody, a debt. You gotta pay it back, or you're a bitch. You bitch, Campion. You bitch.
Serenity should remember that this is apparently what Campion's father
This is
sounds like in case
romance.
we meet
You're
him.
gonna have to do this voice at some point, Serenity.
Probably.
Yeah,
I've got an idea for it anyway.
Yeah, man.
So Campion's just like really ride or die.
Yeah, it's just like that, man. It's just the things his parent, taught him, and like they're completely opposite people. His dad's a city dude, and his mom's like a way out there flower child, man. And they were able to raise Campion how they raised him, man. And he's just this very dysfunctional, but lovable individual, man. It's just trying to see life as it is, but also like somehow surviving insane things out of circumstance and batshit luck. He's the Bill Murray of this campaign now.
Inspiring, truly inspiring. Yeah, I was personally very disappointed that Campion did not, in fact, try to hit on Charlie. I know that you just like dealt with one character death, but it would have been very funny.
Oh yeah, so she's like,
she
just slaps me and like my neck snaps,
Mhm.
I mean, I want to know, is he going to hit on Aaron though?
Yo, man.
She showed a lot more magical ability.
Aaron's already there, right?
Yeah, she saved the day, basically.
She saved the day.
Yeah. Oh,
and,
snap, dude.
Closed the rift.
Yeah, I mean, it's
magic.
let
out a huge wave of magic off of her.
Hey, man,
healed the entire party up to.
Is she single? It's
don't know.
like, are they all in like a weird menage a trois, man? I don't know, man.
It wouldn't be a menage a trois because that would be 3. It would be an orgy if they were all together, or polygamy.
It would be a polycule.
Polycule, yeah.
But you don't know. Maybe they are.
A huge polycule.
Oh,
I really hope they are now. That would be really fun.
Running fan theory.
Look at Serenity just has all her NPCs in a relationship.
Looks like Turna is just a big orgy.
They're all married.
Also be helpful.
They're all married.
They're a polyamorous relationship. They're just like, we're all married. You see this ring right here? Yeah, that's all of us. Okay.
Yeah, I have.
That's what their symbol actually means.
Yeah.
Someday we're gonna have like a Reddit, and we won't be able to say shit like this anymore because it'll drive people insane.
Suddenly it'll be
all
canon.
The ships, dude. All the ships. It's gonna be insane, man. I'm ready.
Suddenly
we're still waiting. Reddit. We're waiting for the PC ones to happen. Either PC or PC NPC. We'll see.
NPCs, man.
Cool beans. Okay, so this was kind of the campaign's first intense dungeon crawl. You had like a little one out in the desert with the thing with the brain. But how are you guys feeling like getting into really the gritty dungeon part of Dungeons and Dragons, like as players going in?
It's surprising, man. I haven't done a lot of dungeon crawls, man. I feel like I was not ready. I was really scared.
Not
Prepared for these things, these amalgamations of mind. Inside joke, people. It's an inside joke. But
that was a dungeon crawl, and you did that.
That is true. We did not do well in it.
God damn,
2 weeks.
Yeah, it was just a whole thing. But yeah, no, I was not ready for this dungeon crawl, man. But somehow, we all survived, man, which is beating the odds. Because right now, man, I would have thought, a lot of us would have died. That we had to get more diamonds.
I mean, one person did die.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're fine.
No, not you, Oriana, but
Well, no.
Yeah, she died in the episode
Melody
that you were still there. Remember, she died, and then Quinn revived her just at the
end. She was fine.
just in time, man. Diamonds, man.
It doesn't count if you don't die.
Yeah, DC still goes up.
Yeah, it's 12 now, right?
No, it's 11.
It's 11. It's just 1.
Got you. But yeah, no, it was interesting, man. It was cool, man. Serenity, she gets to get out her sadistic boner on, man, And we
Giant
survive
boner.
we we survive another day, dude. We keep going.
Live to fight again.
Another day to survive.
Perry's not good at this stuff. So like she was not prepared, did not prepare the right spells for this shit. Nothing. She's down there like, oh, wait, prep. No,
Whoops.
nothing prepped.
Nothing prepped.
Nothing good here.
I gotta speak with animals. There any animals here? No? Okay.
Try to speak with like those little jelly cubes.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Jelly Cube, what's going on, buddy?
What's up?
Yeah.
Although, couldn't one argue that the fact that you survived and won more or less means you are good at dungeon crawls? You didn't get stuck like that one guy.
That's true.
You didn't get stuck like that one guy.
Like that one guy.
Oh, poor
Yeah, what's
Tiernan.
his face?
Poor
What's his
Tiernan,
face?
who Perry is so happy she saved.
Yeah.
And technically, he didn't get stuck. He got attacked by mad things.
Yeah, but then he got stuck, he didn't get out. Anyway, yeah, so...
You need some of that duct tape and glue, man. That compound fracture,
Yeah, so speaking of him, Perry, Perry met one of the Oshiden, who was doing real bad.
Yeah, that was rough. Because for one, Perry is now like, after getting that shit from Liz, is terrified that the rest of her people are just gonna fucking hate her.
Yeah.
But it has also galvanized her in so many interesting ways, and we'll see how that goes, coming up Friday. But being able to meet and save one of her people and then keep her word and, I'll come back for you. We're going to get you out. And she was able to. That's a huge win for her that she really needed right about now.
Yeah. And new friend.
Maybe.
New friend. Or new family, maybe. One of your people. Sort of. Different tribe. Same people. Cousins. There you go.
She's super hoping he's not like the last of his people. We'll see if that breaks Perry.
Yo, man, if your people die, just, you get a whole new tribe. Just a whole new, just gonna start some new ocean.
Some more,
Yeah, I have to do it.
Grab some people, be like, you're druids now.
Yeah.
Hi, you are a member of the Ocean now.
Welcome.
Here's your complimentary stick and your book of animals, learn it so you can turn into cool shit. And
here's your pet rock. You do have to take care of it.
Okay.
Be one with nature. Cool. Okay, Serenity, can you tell us a bit about planning like a longer dungeon crawl that might span across a couple of episodes versus planning a smaller, like one episode fight?
Yeah. So with dungeon crawls, you typically want to force your players to think about how they use their resources. Like when you plan like a one-off combat that happens in the middle of the day, first of all, you can make it a bit harder on them because you know that, okay, they'll probably get a rest or whatever. But with a dungeon crawl, the whole point is to put them through enough trials and tribulations so that they don't just have everything at the end fight and they can just like throw all of their highest powered stuff and just be fine. It's meant to sort of harrow them down a little bit and make them think about how are they going to strategically plan the battles because there's still unknown amount left to go before they get to where they need to be or what their end purpose is for being there. And so it's kind of a combination of giving them moments of enough downtime that they can like take a breath and not just constantly hitting them with like battle after battle after battle, but also having things there that will give them pause and make them like really think twice. For instance, when they went into the ooze fight, the black puddings, they screwed the pooch a little bit on how they were running around trying to find an exit. because like I am glad I didn't have one in there and there was that puzzle room. Because there was actually another area if they had gone on the other side where they would have gotten into that and they would have had a place to run, except that run would have taken them into the boss fight and they would have been pincered between puddings and a giant demon. And so, had they have, and again, had I have had a hallway there, they would have run directly into a gelatinous cube with puddings behind them. And then even if they had taken out the cube and continued running, would have run into madness and maybe been incapacitated for up to 10 minutes. So like, it's just having the players understand that like, there are ways to handle this and you have to think about what are you running towards? What are you getting into? And like, how bad could this possibly be? And how do you handle this situation? And so, yeah, it kind of gives them that sense, and hopefully like seeing how difficult that boss was, and sort of like what they're up against in regards to Tharizdun and the legions that he commands, coming up for them. Hopefully this helps them take stock of like, we each have a purpose in this group. We each have our strengths. We need to play to those strengths and make sure that we're all supporting each other in the various ways that we can.
Teamwork. So you mentioned you have another area. Can you tell us like how much of a sprawl did you design for the Ruins of Madness? Because it did seem, just like watching the episode, it seemed like a straight shot, more or less, to the boss fight. Yeah.
So I just basically planned out. So there was a T junction, and I let them decide: are you going left or right? And I had two maps. Basically, the way that the room was spread out is like a T junction, and then it was like 3 straight rooms like going in, and then it connects at the end to the last area where the shackle was. And so I had a set of trials on the left-hand side and a set of trials on the right-hand side. They chose the right, so they got like the Zodiac puzzle, they got the oozes, they got the cube, and then they got Tyrannin. On the other side, it's just mostly death. There was like a skill challenge, like a dexterity based sort of skill challenge, and there was still some more like oozes and cube and stuff like that there. And then they finally converged at the end into the boss fight. So it wasn't super super sprawling, because this was their first one. They're still relatively like lower level, so I didn't want to expand it because they don't have as many resources. The next one's going to be quite interesting.
Something to look forward to.
Much more sprawling, probably.
Oh, a real trek, maybe a 2-week trek. We'll see.
Don't know. I don't know if they want to be in there 2 weeks. I don't know if they want to do that.
Hard pass on anything madness inducing for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I can't handle
The next
that.
one's not called the Ruins of Madness, but I'm not going to tell you what it's called.
It's the Ruins of Stub Toes. Mild irritation. Yeah, the Ruins of some terrible thing.
Yeah.
Literally the name of it. So what do you guys think about puzzles and traps? Because I know Serenity always has a ton of fun designing those. The Zodiac one especially, I was like, this one's for Laura, specifically to fuck with her, because she knows stuff about the Zodiac. She's gonna take that red herring and run with it.
And I did. I definitely did. I love a good puzzle. And so I'm like staring at it. I'm like, these are not the right numbers for these. These don't relate at all. But luckily someone else was like, hey, legs.
Yeah, it was Oriana. But she is the intelligent one of the group.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going to play Campion because I knew the answer, so I wasn't going to give it. Mm-hmm. I will say that was an Easter egg for anyone who's played Silent Hill. That was an original puzzle in the Silent Hill game where you actually had to set the number of legs on the Zodiac puzzle, and I just changed the various symbology to different ones. But yes, that was where I was taken.
Completely missed that. That's awesome. Lovely. Okay, let's talk about, what time is it? Okay, yeah, let's talk about the boss fight a little bit. So did you guys have fun? Tell me about the fun you had.
I mean, honestly, this dungeon really did test like how well we could work together, because we got to the end and like I had very limited spells left. I had saved all of my big spells, and then they got hit by that AoE, and I was like, oh, well, now I need to save my spells because I may need to power through with some big ass heals, or we're gonna see dead people. I enjoyed the fight. I mean, it was a really big challenge, and I got to bring out a new wild shape that was absolutely useless.
Try new things.
I mean, I did have a plan. I just never hit with that plan, and then my web didn't recharge.
Sad.
Hey,
Yeah.
to be fair, the
Heartbreak.
roll on a 5-6, his acid spit also did not recharge. The
Yeah,
entire
no,
fight.
I
So,
appreciate it so much,
Hey.
like so much, because like I kept waiting, and I was like, it's gonna recharge. It's going to kill literally
I
everybody.
kept rolling a 3,
See,
man.
see, that's what people think, man. They think like, oh man, 5-6 recharge. Oh, that's not bad, you know. And it's like, the thing is the dice be tricky.
No.
They will fuck you over.
Nice be
You
That
need
is,
it.
that is very true.
Yeah. Jay was not present for this fight.
Yeah, no,
so
but
unfortunately,
I
he cannot tell us how much fun he had.
hey, but I heard Camping was doing some very solid heals, man. I was
Was.
very
He was
glad.
on it with the heels.
I was very glad that I only spent one spell slot to use levitate to get the fuck out of the reach, you know, in the earlier.
Yeah, you ended up using another one. I had Campion use another one to bring Greybound back right away after, because he
Got
got
you.
destroyed in the Black Ooze
Yeah.
fight. So he used one spell slot to bring Greybound back, which
Mhm.
actually helped fight the Greybound got the kill on the gelatinous cube.
Okay, cool.
Mhm.
And then in the boss fight, Greybone got like mixed by that acid spit, and then he brought Greybone back up to harrow
Gotcha.
kind of the boss and be like an annoyance.
Mhm.
The boss didn't really pay much attention, but he was providing flanking for I
Mhm.
believe like Sinrek and stuff like that. So
Oh yeah.
it was useful.
Useful.
But I definitely thought for a minute there was going to be me and Serenity playing Campion trying to take out the demon at the end. Because people kept going down. But like that's the thing we all realized was like it really taught us like what we're good at and what we are good for in a fight. So, our healers were clutch with the heals.
Yeah, Sinrek kept coming back doing like 60 points of
Nice.
damage
Yeah, dude.
and then going
Coming back
down.
down.
But he would
But
get
he
back
would-
up.
I mean,
like, right
that's
next-
that's the
gotta
first
keep-
thing,
gotta keep
kind
him
of
going, man.
like
Gotta keep
up
him
and
going,
down, up
dude.
and down. Yeah.
That's all you needed was just to heal him
Yeah, I
7
mean-
hit points because the boss was busy dealing with other shit at the time.
Yeah.
You know?
And I mean, he would soak up like 3 attacks.
Yep.
And that was, 3 attacks that somebody else didn't take that we could throw a spell instead. And that somebody else could still be standing. Like we really did work well together, and I'm really proud of us because we've been very fractured up until this point.
All because of Campion, man.
Yeah, see, that's why I'm glad I actually went Artificer, because they're actually very
Versatile, man.
yeah, man, very versatile. Even because I'm a fucking
Battlesmith,
battlesmith, dude. Like if I probably could have did more heals if I was an alchemist, but then it's just like, yeah, like it can be a healer, for a limited amount of time, and then I can also be support, and then do buffs and debuffs and everything.
Mhm.
So that's why that was the plan around him. I was glad that was utilized to the best of his abilities.
Campion was clutch, and I mean, he has done a lot to like show us our own strengths. Like we were so used to being so scattered, but like we have worked better now that Campion's here, and I don't know why, but I'm grateful for it.
You just need an artificer. You need Greybone. Greybone has been the secret to everything. This
Yeah,
whole time.
man,
You need a puppy in
Yeah.
that team.
Middle puppy,
I
dude.
think it's a combination of just like everything that's happened to them being in a serious situation. They have this like guy who's coming on board and is kind of like looking to them, trying to understand what the fuck's happening. And I think they have that responsibility to like not get the next person that just travels with them killed. And
Yeah.
I think that there is that understanding in the group of like, this guy doesn't know what's going on. He's just kind of stuck for the ride and he's willing to help us out. So like, let's do this right,
Yeah.
Let's help him out too.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's 100% part of what Perry feels is like she feels responsible for not being able to save Dobby, and now we've got Campion, and he did not sign up for being marked by a god of darkness, and we're just into crazy shit all day long, and
Don't
he's
you
just
worry.
along
got
for
his
the
own
ride.
market. He's got his own mark.
Yeah, now he's got his own mark, dude.
Hey,
Backstory, man.
hey, spoilers.
But he's just all right. This is fucked up, y'all.
Yeah.
You guys,
It's like,
what the fuck is happening?
I have
And so-
no idea.
These acid blobs, man. I don't
Man,
get it.
man,
Fucking-
what the what, my man?
why is there a giant cube
Yeah.
made of acid? I don't like this. And so, like, we all feel like, at least for Perry, like, I really should make sure he doesn't get killed too.
See, yeah, I feel
He didn't
like
sign up for this.
see, like
least with our team.
in shows, right? You have that one character where the audience is like meant to kind of like be in their shoes. They're kind of the one is like
Yeah, they're
from
like the normal
outside.
person.
The point of view
They're
character.
the normal person, and you're
Yeah.
like, this. I don't want this normal person to fucking die. We gotta get him the fuck out of here, man.
Protect him
He
at all
ain't coming for
costs.
me, man.
Protect the normie.
Protect him and his little dog. Protect him and his little dog.
Aw. Cool beans. Okay, so Serenity, could you tell us a little bit about designing this big boss fight, which is like this cool sort of like split dungeon screen thingy? It was cool to look at, I'm saying.
Yeah. I knew that Liz and Charlie were going to come from the other side that they didn't come from. I wanted to put something strong up against them. I'm an idiot. Apparently, my characters that level are just ridiculous, and I worry now for the later that this campaign goes because I don't know what I'm going to throw. But I knew that I wanted to create something more homebrewed for them that they wouldn't know what it is, and it was supposed to be like this general of the demons coming through, like a lower level general, but still very strong. And he was a Yugoloth, and I wanted him coming through with like the darkness so that the players wouldn't see it. I think the only one that could maybe see it was Baltaim, because he can see through magical darkness, I believe. And I 100% thought someone would have brought Dispel. Like, I figured they're going in, like, they knew there was these ruins. They had the night to rest before they were going to charge the ruins. And I was like, they know that there's the potential of these shackles being broken and maybe a rift into the abyss being there. There's a possibility of, like, dependent. So I was like, someone's going to bring Dispel. Like, that, it's going to happen. No one brought Dispel. So he probably put the darkness up and they couldn't see it. And so I was like, oh, the first thing he's going to do is just hork his acid into the group. And also they all just, again, I always ask, like, are you all just walking in? Yep. I'm like, okay, I guess so. And so they all walked in this like big clump. And I'm like, yeah, he's just going to hork acid like on their entire group and hit all of them. And I think Perry was the only one who had initiative higher than him.
Yes.
So she was able to get out of the way and do her thing. But yeah, that was just like an unfortunate byproduct of the fight. But yeah, he was an interesting homebrewed little boss. I didn't expect that I was going to have to bring in Driders. I didn't expect that I was going to have to bring in Aaron. I also luckily rolled really well on a D100 for her to teleport into fucking ruins. But then she got hit by the madness, which was not great.
So she just kind of like freaking out in the background a little bit.
I was freaking out because I was like, they're gonna die. They're gonna die. She's stuck. And then I was like, oh, thank God, Liz has protection from good and evil. She'll put that on her. She'll get another save.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was just one of those things where I was like, oh fuck. And then she rolled poorly for her dispel, and I was like, okay, it's gonna close real slowly. And then I realized she had another thing that allowed me to re-roll, and she rolled really well for that one. So.
Okay. So as the party, took stock after this battle, realized the chain was broken. Yes.
Yep, the shackle's broken.
Shackle's broken.
But the abyss is closed. The abyssal rift is closed.
Yeah. So like some good news, some bad news. Without any like major spoilers, can you give us like a peek at what the characters are going to be facing as they move on from this?
Yeah.
Which is like the first big leg of their journey.
Yeah. I mean, I can't give too much away, but I ended the session early, so there was some description that I didn't get to, which I'll get to this week. But it is one of the shackles that binds Tharizdun to the abyss and sort of seals his abilities away. And with each shackle broken, more of his power and ability seeps into the prime material plane, and more of his forces potentially can come up through various means, or he can corrupt people. And so I think now it's going to be the group kind of like reassessing, eventually meeting up with Lex in Riverend and looking into like their big next arc will be eventually getting to Riverend and looking into the shackle there, and being a part of that. Again, they were told that if 3 are broken, that's enough to allow him the ability to kind of influence the world. And so that will be kind of like their next goal is to like make sure that doesn't happen, but as at the same time stay alive themselves as they are marked. And so through all of their journeys, there will likely be allusions to his power seeping into the world.
Exciting. Things to look forward to. Well, things for me to look forward to. Things for you guys to dread.
But they'll get a little bit of I said like productive downtime or like guided downtime, like because they do have things to do, but they're not going to be rushing. Like this one was like, you should get here. Like there are things that are happening, and Perry wanted to make sure her people were okay because she knew what they were guarding. Now it's more like you have these favors to complete, but you're not
like that
so
Lex.
much on a timeline to like get things done. You can kind
do
of
a little side quest.
Yeah.
Take a little time.
Lex, she's gonna want that. Actually, no, it's not Lex's thing. We have to do.
It is Lex's.
It's
Lex's thing too.
Cage
We
Barrow.
have 2
Cage Barrow's
things.
closer. Well, you can depending on which way you go. You can go to Zuma.
But also, isn't Aaron's thing close as
No.
well?
Well,
No.
Aaron's is in Izel, which is like another nation.
Oh,
over.
okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was.
It's
where
in that
we were.
area.
Okay.
But it's
in that
still
area.
it's far. Cage Barrow's about 3 days
okay.
away from you. Zuma would be like weeks. A couple of weeks.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha.
Neato. Okay. With that, we are going to move on to our topic for the day, which is creating an inclusive campaign. General disclaimer, I'm not an expert. I don't claim anyone here is an expert, but we are going to be talking about this because I want to. Okay, so we're going to talk about diversity and inclusivity and all this stuff. So D&D is or has been stereotypically the pastime of white male nerds. That's sort of the stereotype, what you picture when you think of D&D. With the D&D renaissance, like after 5e, BIPAC, and like queer players have become much more visible. I think before we dive really into the crunchy bits, we should define some terms. So today's topic is creating an inclusive campaign. But what the fuck do I mean by saying inclusive campaign? I want to know everyone's opinions. What does that mean exactly?
Woof.
Yeah,
Big questions.
That's a huge question.
Yeah, I said we were going to be crunchy, but we're going to go crunchy right away.
For me, it's anyone and everyone should be able to not only feel like they could play at the table, but can see themselves within the world in some facet or enjoy it in some facet and maybe take something from it that they can kind of place themselves in or think that that's cool or even take an idea from or enjoy in some way or be like, hey, there's a character who's this. That's kind of something I've always been interested in or I would totally play or something like that. So for me, it's kind of like that.
Yeah, for me, it's about the same. I mean, on that, it's about being able to see yourself reflected in that world, and like for a lot of people, it's also about, and for me, it's about feeling like D&D isn't there to fix you or to fix what's wrong with you. If you have something you want to see reflected, meaning, like there was a big to do about the combat wheelchair, and I'm here for it. Like let's people be themselves in that world if that's what they want to play. Everybody has a seat at the table. It stopped being a boys' club a long time ago, and everybody should be welcome. Everybody should be able to sit down, grab some dice, grab a character sheet, and feel like this is their game too.
Yeah, I mean, as a black man, it's the stigma behind like D&D was like fucking insane, dude. It was like, oh, bro, man, dice. You're playing fantasies, man. You're a girl, man. You're fucking going playing. You're an elf, you little elf girl. And I'm like, bro, man, I just got this character, man. I think she's cool. What's going on, man? It's just it's Dungeons and Dragons is an expression of whoever the fuck you want to be, man. If that you wanted an outlet to be an extension of you, or is it an extension of part of you, or if it's just the complete opposite of you. The inclusivity of it is just to be open-minded and to also talk and understand where the communication is key between the DM and the players, because especially before you even start a campaign, you need to know, just the players. They need to know what's going on in the story, what type of thematics it's going to be, what they're comfortable with, what they need to know about, you know, your character and your morals and everything. It's a communication situation. So always talk. Be willing to talk, be willing to express, be willing to say pause and be like, hey, I'm not comfortable with this. Or, hey, are you good? It's just how it is. Be open minded, understand that you can't please everybody. So everyone just needs to understand that, it's a give and take. But it's everyone, the first thing at the end of the day is everyone to have fun. That's it.
Sage advice. And I think we all sort of think about this concept in more or less the same way. I was agreeing with a lot of what you guys were saying. I think of an inclusive campaign, or really the ideal campaign, as a space where anyone can step into the fantasy and feel like they belong there. Like no one should be alienated just by the game itself, because it's, and we talked about this before, it's like it's a life simulator and a friendship simulator in a big way. So kind of what Jay was saying, everyone should be able to have fun and no one should feel like they're not welcome in the campaign space. Cool beans. So now we're going to talk about times you felt unwelcome. So when you were first getting into D&D, did you feel like there was any kind of like barrier to finding campaigns or to playing with people because of your gender identity, sexuality, race, minority status of any kind?
Hmm. For me, it was just kind of hard to really kind of get into it in an IRL game, man. It just scheduling wise. So I guess it became easier once I learned about Roll20 and that games can also be held,
Savior of
beyond.
many people.
Man, exactly. You
Hmm.
know, you
That's real
can't
funny.
you can't drive an hour and a half to your favorite game store, or your DM's place. You just go online. Um, this is not an ad by Roll20.
We're not
If
sponsored.
you want to give us
Yeah,
the
if you want to
monies,
sponsor us,
yeah,
hey.
man, I'm willing to sell out, man. Let's go. I'll wear Roll20 shirt, bro.
But we do love Roll20 for letting us be able to
Yeah,
like
to play,
to play, because I mean otherwise we wouldn't have this.
exactly, and that's a lot for that's the thing for everybody. The accessibility of it is really cool, especially now. Um, for me, getting started into it was just a little difficult, just finding a good game, because it was just like, yeah, a game would start, or like it would be like one session, and then like, oh yeah, no, time constraints, we're done. Or it's like everyone falls out, or it's like, uh, it's just kind of just like slowly fizzles to the point where like the DM gets burnout, and then they're like, yeah, man, I'm tired, man, and that just happens to everything. It takes a bit of time for you to find that group that works. And then yeah, man, once you're there, man, you're home, dude. You're good, man. Just play all the games you want, the people you like. Be dicks to one another, and then at the end of the day, just be like, hey, you stabbed me, but yeah, that's good. Yeah.
Your character punched me in the face.
It's
But
okay.
we're still friends, right?
Twice. Yeah. Yeah.
Twice. Uh,
It's funny, dude. But yeah, no, that's just how it is, man. But yeah, that's just my thing, man. Just never
Mhm.
stop looking for that group that you can mesh with, and then everything's just gonna be cool. Ooh.
I
You okay?
mean, for me,
She's
You
dying.
look like you're about to fall asleep.
Just like
Pass out.
let's fall out.
Don't vomit.
for me, it really was like a boys' game. Like I was one of like three girls in an all nerdy group of people, and they had like a game going. And I was like, I want to join. I want to play. Well, we don't have time to teach you.
Mhm.
Ode.
Yeah. And like the thing is, like my dad played old school AD&D. So like I expressed some interest and he bought me some stuff. He bought me my first dice. I
Aw.
still have all his old character sheets and shit. I mean, it's some crazy stuff. Like apparently I came from a secret D&D family. Comes to find out. But like I tried to get involved and they were always like, "Oh, we don't have time to teach you how to play and we don't know how we'd fit another character." And it was just like it began to feel like a thing where I was just there to sit there and be an accessory. I was the token nerd girl to sit there and watch them play. And
God.
so I never got to play. No matter how much I tried, no matter how many times I tried to find a game, I didn't start actually really getting to play until I met Chad. And we tried to come up with a couple of games. And then one day we strolled across, we stumbled across a Roll20 ad and I wound up with this group.
And the rest is history.
God save your soul.
Oh, that sucks though. Damn. I had no idea you had so much D&D hardship in your
Hey
past.
man, it's just people forget, girls get it done.
Oh man, fucking boys reference, you dick.
You know? Yeah.
Don't be a cunt. It's a time of endearment. Man. Time of endearment. For me, I used to play like online, like text-based ones. But I like didn't start really with D&D. I started with like I think I started with like Buffy or something like that. I can't remember. It was a long time ago. But I did a lot of like role playing online, but like through like text based games like MIRC and stuff like that. It was kind of weird. And then in college, I found a group of people, and got into fourth edition, which was confusing.
We don't talk about that child, man.
I skipped right from 3.5 to 5.
And when I made my first character, I just like in fourth edition, I did literally it was point buy, and I did it like I do every RPG. I just was like, I'm just gonna average out all my stats because they'll just grow. And I didn't realize it's like you get a feat every or you get an ASI like every fourth. Can't remember fourth edition because I think you got the extra feats on time. Anyways, but anyway, your stats only go up every so often. You only get so many. And so I think I was like a cleric that had 13s in every fucking stat. It was terrible. I couldn't hit anything. I was pretty much useless. But yeah, it wasn't I don't think so much like a barrier for me. I found a group of people and I was able to like play. Now the barrier is like, yeah, it's people are older, everyone has lives, people have children. It's harder to get together and find time to play. So
Yeah.
I found a group online and now I'm in 4 times a week.
And you're good to
Probably.
go.
Yeah.
We're here.
Yeah.
It's
We're
perpetual
here.
madness.
We're all here. Yeah, I will say I've never had trouble finding a group. Like I usually have more offers that I can take. When it
Wow.
comes to
What, you
Yeah,
throw it
Way
in
to
your face?
humble
Popular.
brag,
Wow.
Truth.
Wow. Okay.
Sorry, I'm dirty and cool and hot. I don't know what to tell you people. Anyway,
You know.
anyway, but I will say I have been made uncomfortable by like white straight men that I've played with so often.
Yeah, no. See, the thing is like, um, I've seen it happen in groups
Mhm.
like a lot. Where it's just like a dude, and he's like, "Oh, there's a girl here. Oh man, oh that's so, oh
Yeah, it's
yeah."
cool.
And I'm
Mhm.
just like, "Dude, my man, you don't know. She's
You've
not coming
seen
here to
women
look
before.
for
You've seen
anybody.
like female
They
Come on,
people.
exist.
but she's playing the D&Ds." And I'm like, "Yeah, but she's just a regular fucking person. Just find a cool person, and then maybe you can get them into D&D, and then there you got a weird D&D
I
family
mean,
now."
it's a great way to seduce people. Get them into your nerdy shit.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Why you got? She's just trying to play her half elf rogue, man, stabbing people in the back. Leave her alone.
She's busy stabbing.
This
He's
man,
busy
she's stabbing.
assassinating.
She's assassinating people, man. Come on. But yeah, no, it's like that, and it's just like, yo, the thing is, don't have try to create a romance. Come on, man. Just people need to chill, dude. Yeah. Don't look for love in your D&D group. I'm gonna tell you, okay? 9 out of 10 times, the group's gonna crash and burn, man. Okay? I
You're
can,
never gonna see that girl again.
and you're never gonna see that girl again, and you're gonna
On to
off
the
put
next
her
group.
from D&D, man. And then and then man, it's gonna turn into a whole thing, dude. To the point where like I've seen a bunch of these groups, like some of these groups kind of, well, it was like years ago when it was like kind of popping up in the Me Too movement. It was just like these all girl groups because they didn't feel comfortable with dudes,
Mhm.
and it's like no, don't, man. That you're ruining it. You're ruining it for everybody's fun, dude. Like, just enjoy the company, man. Have fun. Stop making it weird because you want a cool pixie cut girlfriend that's a nerd.
Yeah.
No golf GF for you. Okay, get out of here.
No big titty coffee.
All for
I
you.
mean, see, that's like a really fair and good point because like it's either one or the other. Like either you get in there and you're made uncomfortable because you're suddenly somebody's manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah.
Somebody's like, oh shit, it's a nerd girl. Let me try to tap that. Or people who will like legitimately like, try to make you uncomfortable at the table because you're a
Mhm.
girl. Because, Chad and I were in a
Yeah, they
game.
want to test you. They're like, "Are you a cool girl?
You
Are
a
you
cool
a
girl?
cool
Yeah, are you
girl?
a cool girl? Are
girl?
you not like other girls?
Are you
No.
chill with all this weird shit I'm doing? You better be."
But I mean,
Yeah.
like Chad and I were in a game, and it was very obvious that the guy kind of had a weird thing about women in D&D, and like made a point of let's make her uncomfortable while also making her husband uncomfortable.
Mhm.
Like I'll throw these ridiculous, super sexy characters at him and like imply that her character's not as pretty as them.
Yeah,
And
I think
like
we talked
watch
about this
them.
in a
Yeah.
previous episode. Yeah,
That's
like
so
I mean,
super
that
busty
honestly-
barmaids just randomly. That's so
Yeah,
weird.
I mean that's
Wisdom
that's kind of
save.
wisdom saver. You look at her
Wisdom
tits.
Okay,
I mean,
no
I
one
still
is.
to this day have to employ that for something.
just once. Just once.
Okay.
Do
I
that
feel
to my
like that's
husband.
an auto fail for most people, but
Yeah. Yeah, well,
like-
I want to do it to like the whole party, and it's like a DC 25, and everyone's
you take
just like,
psychic
yes.
damage.
But like for
Like-
me, that's been what it is. It is like, and I it's so stupid. This commodification of women at the table is gross. Like we're here to roll dice. Let me be a math goblin, and you roll your dice over there.
Yeah, let me roll my pretty dice, okay?
Yeah,
they were
I just-
expensive.
Little clicky math
Uh-huh.
rocks.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Are you
paid
sure you
$50
know
for these dice.
Okay,
I want to roll my rogue.
Yeah.
Go away.
Get the fuck away from me, okay? Fuck, dude.
For
And
one
then
set? What
yeah,
dice are
man.
those?
And then when like there's
Rose
the
quartz
dude.
gemstone die.
Yeah,
Oh, you
man.
have rose quartz?
Yeah, she got the rose quartz
Oh my
one.
god.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no, Chad
dude.
gave them to me for my anniversary.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Chad. We
Yeah.
all appreciate them.
Everybody loves my gemstone dice.
the gemstone dice, man,
They've rolled many a nat 20.
Yeah. No, that's real science though. The cooler your dice, the better your rolls are. Real science.
Or the worst, that Nat 1 hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they
You
betrayed
gotta put it in
you.
dice jail, dude. Then it's like,
I'm gonna start like dice rehab though. Maybe if we're kinder and gentler, they'll like get better instead of just sitting in prison
Yeah.
getting
Oh,
worse.
this really weird girl that I knew once taught me a way to like
spin the dice.
no, to bond with your dice the way you do in Animal.
We have gotten way off
Oh,
the rails,
wow.
y'all.
Sorry. Okay. Never mind. I'll tell you about that later. So Serenity. So female DMs aren't exactly unicorns these days, but most big names in like the real play community are still men and still white men. Is there like a glass ceiling you think that people are bumping up against?
I mean, I want to say no, but I mean, I work in the tech industry. And yes, I mean, I want to
It's not
say
funny,
like,
but you know.
no,
Yeah.
it's just, it's natural. Like, I think that it's always going to be, like there are going to be like female DMs, queer DMs, BIPOC DMs that are getting boosted. But our society is not that grown as we see in the real world today. We're still far, far behind the
That's the
times,
real
and
world,
so
yeah.
2020, y'all.
people are naturally going to
That's right.
gravitate towards the white men, and
You know?
and they'll get boosted more, and they'll have more privilege than the littler people. And so, and I know that there's efforts to like help signal boost a lot of like these smaller names and stuff like that, to like, because a lot of these these people are really, really good at what they do and really good at storytelling, and not necessarily D&D, but like even other role playing like games and stuff like that. But I think like we still have a very long way to go, just in general, and in that case. So
Yeah,
I
and
don't think
to add on that.
it's a hard
Oh,
question
are
to
you?
answer.
Oh.
No, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, Serenity. Yeah, are you done?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and to add on that,
This
yeah,
is the most
no.
polite we've ever been about interrupting each other.
I mean,
We're
usually
so
we just gotta talk
hyper-aware
over
right
each other
now.
and like
Shut the
just
fuck
be
up.
real shitty.
Okay, go
Talk
ahead,
to
Jay.
God.
um no, but just like, yeah, like how it's going in now. But I feel like there's more opportunities now more than ever. I'm seeing a lot more people come out of the woodwork. Especially, you know, a friend of mine, plays D&D, and is an actor, and is
Mhm.
actually starting to get into the voice working field. And
Ooh.
that was actually very hard for colored individuals to get into voice work, man. Very difficult. And now it's starting to become, these, there's more like animations that are including colored individuals, and it's like, hey, why don't we get a colored person to do the actual voice this time,
Imagine that.
creating these opportunities for these individuals to shine, and kind of get their faces, or well, voices out there, but also faces, and like opportunities are coming out everywhere, in all these fields, and it should be more, but I'm glad to
Mhm.
see the change that's happening now. Because like, bro, 5 years ago, nah.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have taken 5 years? No, but success should always be acknowledged,
Appreciated? Yeah.
and appreciated. Yeah, definitely. Never take it for granted.
Yeah.
But always demand it. It is something that each and every person, deserves. If they are putting in the work for it.
Yeah.
And it shouldn't be, easier for one person than the other person. People here, let's start out, from at least a marginally close starting point to a very, you know easy, as much as easy as the next person's, battle for, I'm trying to get this job here. That's just how it should be. But I mean, life's changing, people growing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Well,
and
congrats to your
also,
friend. I'm glad he's getting
Yeah.
work.
yeah, that's dope. I mean, I also like, if we want to see more diversity, we've got to boost our diverse creators. Like, if you want to see more BIPOC streams, boost the ones that exist. Start there and keep going. I mean, we want to see more queer people on playing D&D. Boost what you have.
You need to create an
because
audience for them.
yeah, we
Yeah.
need to, and especially, I mean, I myself am part of the LGBT community. We need to boost each other instead of tearing each other down and competing with each other all the time. Boost your fellow creators. Like, we're all gonna rise together. Solidarity.
Solidarity.
There you go.
I mean,
Please.
if you see another smaller creator that's struggling, sync up, help them too. You know, more people are going
Make
to
some
rise
friends.
that way, and we can make friends, and we can be a stronger community, and that's what we need.
Powerful words. No, I'm serious. I know this sounded sarcastic, but these are real claps. It's just
They're
a
real,
tonal
they're real
thing.
claps.
True.
Okay, they're not fake claps. They're real claps.
They're
Real
real
claps.
It's a tonal thing, guys. Wonderful. Okay, I'm gonna shove in one more question. So I had so many questions that we did not get through. So what
Because
can
Jay talks too much. No, I'm just joking.
I do.
No, this has
He
been a
never
great
shuts up.
discussion. We
No,
might have to have
no,
a
no,
second
he's been-
half
he's
to
been
this
great.
at some point.
Yeah, no,
we-
it's fantastic.
Yeah, we may have to do a second half to this at some point. So what can DMs do when they're creating campaigns to like create worlds that feel rich, have inclusivity, is that a word, inclusivity, baked in, dodge the kind of stereotypes that come up in fantasy settings and might make people uncomfortable, and just generally create the welcoming environment that we were discussing right at the top?
I mean, I try to think of like all the different cultures and people there are in the world. I am a white woman, so I'm by no means an expert on all of them, but I've tried to represent, multiple like sexualities, genders, cultures in my people that I create, like the NPCs and the world. I've tried to like base certain ones off of various cultures like that we see on Earth, and kind of like take from that, but also showcase the power that those cultures have. For instance, like Seratan is very like almost like African Egyptian based, but you see how powerful a nation they are, and how great their people are, and how prosperous they can be, and showcase sort of that for them, rather than slavery or anything like that being introduced into their culture, and stuff like that, and just taking like the power in that we don't see, that isn't put in the media, in a lot of these like really amazing places and peoples around the world, and giving voice to that. So I try to do that. I'm obviously not an expert by any means, but I try to do research on like cultures or things that I want to put in there, and try to give life to them, and try to do them justice if I can. And I make mistakes. Like there's going to be times where I make mistakes, and I'm told that I made a mistake, and I own that, and I'm like, okay, I will try to do better next time. But it's all in the good faith of like trying to give voice to things that don't get elevated as much in our society, especially in like the Americas and stuff like that.
I mean, I think a big thing is like do your research. If you're gonna do it, do your research. Like be aware of like, am I leaning into a stereotype? Am I just relying on some crap I heard 6 weeks ago? Or, or am I sitting down and am I looking at what's real and what's true, and portraying things in an authentic way? And also just being open to, if someone says, hey, I feel like this world doesn't include something that I, experience. And if you can fit it in, try to fit it in. I mean, by no means can we please everyone or include literally every culture, literally everything in the world, in our world. But where we can fit something, fit something. Does it hurt anybody's experience to include, oh, this culture speaks with sign language? Because you have a player who speaks with sign language and they think that that's an interesting thing to portray. And be open-minded about the way things are created and portrayed. It's okay to have a deaf wizard whose verbal and somatic components are the same because they speak in sign language. It's okay to make modifications so that people feel included.
Mhm.
No, I have nothing to add. Thank you.
Congrats, y'all. We silenced
I will
Jen.
say one thing I do try to do as well. Like
Mhm.
I inherently have bias. I come from a specific family, a specific socioeconomic status, a specific area of the world. And so I try to check that as much as possible when I like do my research and when I talk to people about how I'm doing something or how I'm building something. When I initially wrote the lore for Aotania, I sent it to all my players and I was like, hey, like, is there like, what is it? How does this look like?
Mhm.
And I was hoping that any of them would come to me and be like, whoa, what are you doing here? Like, not okay, you know? Or, you know, like, or this doesn't make sense, or I don't really like how this is. I gave them a lot more insight into the world than I possibly should have as a DM, because they had like they could read through that lore and know a lot of things that their characters like meta wise wouldn't know. But I wanted to do that because I wanted to make sure that I wasn't going to put my foot in my mouth like for certain things. And so I try to do that as I build out the world and stuff like that. And if I'm ever touching on something sensitive, I will say I do try not to touch on stuff that I don't know a lot about. And it's not because I don't want to showcase it, but it's because I want to make sure if I do it, I do it very right. So I'd have to talk to the right people to be able to do it. And it's the same thing on how I handle like my job and stuff like that in the real world. Like if I'm building a feature for the app that I work on, and it's about accessibility, I would hope that I would bring in someone who is dealing with a disability of some kind, to help understand it, because how would I know how they interact with a product versus how I as a a regular person that doesn't have that disability and can't experience that would do so. So I try to do that as well. But I think that that's like another thing as a DM that you can do, because you aren't going to have inherent bias in everything you do and how you see the world. And so it's good to always like talk to other people and be like, hey, does this make sense if I do it this way?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Diversity of perspectives, definitely useful.
Mhm.
We do have to wrap up. I think my one piece of advice, which is in no way encompasses all the advice that could be given to white people who are DMing, would be, are all your important NPCs white? If so, change that. Just
Yeah.
sometimes creating a diverse world is as simple as adding some diversity.
Mhm.
As stupid as that sounds. Anyway, thank you guys so much for being on the show tonight. This has been a great discussion. I have like 6 questions we didn't get to, so I'm probably going to at some point in the future do a diversity point 2, 2.0.
Awesome.
Cool beans. So good night to you guys. Good night to the viewers. Thank you for sticking around and coming to watch us every week here on What's the Damage. Get your t-shirts while they're still hot. Tune in on Friday for the next episode of Roll for Damage. Yeah, do we have any more announcements? Keep being excited for the Halloween episode, because that is coming up.
Yes,
you.
we have a Halloween
Yeah, we have
one-shot.
a very special
very
spooky
fun.
episode. It's going to be
I'm in
fantastic.
it, so
we will
it's
have
great.
more info coming soon in the weeks, so
Mhm.
that will lead up to and it will actually be on the 31st. So
Yeah, so watch for coming announcements. Thank you to Sunbird and Lady Meows who designed our logo and our music. Thank you to everyone, and have a good night. We love you.
have a good night, everyone.
Night, y'all.